Every day, Anna walked the same streets, went through the same routines, and believed she understood her life. Yet, there were moments when something strange would happen, moments that made her pause, moments that made her question reality. One morning, as she sipped her coffee and stared out of the window, she felt a sudden pull, a strange tug in her mind that she could not explain. It was like a whisper, a small voice that was not quite hers, guiding her attention to something she might have missed. She shook her head, telling herself it was just imagination. Yet the feeling lingered, growing stronger with each passing second. Days went by, and the signs became impossible to ignore. She noticed coincidences that seemed too precise to be random. A book she randomly picked from the shelf had exactly the words she needed to hear. A song played on the radio that described her thoughts perfectly. Even small choices, like which street to walk down or which person to talk to, seemed guided by some invisible force. Anna began to realize that something deeper was at play, something beneath her conscious mind. It was the subconscious, a hidden part of her that quietly shaped her decisions, her feelings, and even her reality. Yet, this was not ordinary intuition. It felt differently and intelligent, almost as if it wanted to communicate directly with her. She could feel it trying to tell her something important, something she had been ignoring for far too long. One night, as she lay awake in the darkness, she remembered a dream from weeks ago. In the dream, she stood in a vast room full of doors, each glowing with light. A voice whispered, "Choose wisely, and you will see." At the time, she dismissed it as nonsense, but now it felt like a message, a guide from within. Her subconscious was speaking, and she was only just beginning to notice. Anna's curiosity grew, and so did a quiet sense of wonder. She began to pay attention to the small nudges, the subtle hints, the fleeting thoughts that appeared without explanation. She realized that these moments were more than coincidences. They were clues, pieces of a puzzle that her conscious mind could not yet see. Her life was like a mystery novel, and the voice inside her subconscious held the key to understanding it. But there was a question that haunted her, a question that made her heart race. If the subconscious could guide her, if it could hold the answers to questions she had long forgotten, why had she never listened before? Why had she ignored the signs, dismissed the whispers, and overlooked the magic of her own mind? It was as if she had been walking in a fog, unaware that a light had been shining just ahead. Now, Anna felt a strange mix of fear and excitement. Fear, because she did not know what she might discover. Excitement, because she sensed that a great secret was waiting to be revealed, a secret that could change the way she saw herself, the world, and reality itself. As the night deepened, she closed her eyes and listened. For the first time, she truly heard it, the mysterious voice inside, a voice that was patient, intelligent, and full of possibilities. And as she opened her mind to it, she knew that her journey had only just begun. The secrets of the subconscious were waiting, and she was ready to uncover them. Anna could feel the voice inside her mind growing stronger. It was no longer a faint whisper in the background. It was a presence, guiding her thoughts and nudging her in ways she could not explain. She began to wonder about the mind she had always trusted, the mind she thought she understood. What if the conscious mind was only the surface, a small tip, of a vast, hidden iceberg beneath? She started reading about the subconscious, learning that it is not just a storage place for memories. It is a powerful engine that influences every choice, every feeling, and even every dream. It works silently, shaping our actions without asking for permission. Every habit, every instinct, every sudden insight comes from this hidden part of the mind, and Anna realized that she had been living in a world guided largely by this invisible force without even knowing it. Every day brought new discoveries, small moments where the subconscious revealed itself. A sudden idea for a problem she had been struggling with would appear in her thoughts. A memory long forgotten would resurface at the perfect time, giving her clarity she could not explain. Even emotions seemed to carry messages she had never understood consciously. It was as if the subconscious was trying to teach her a language she had never learned, a code hidden in feelings, dreams, and subtle coincidences. Anna also noticed that her intuition had a strange accuracy. She could sense danger or opportunity before it arrived. She could feel the energy of people she had just met. Knowing their intentions without any logical reason, she began to suspect that her subconscious was connected to something greater than herself, a network of hidden knowledge, patterns, and truths that stretched beyond ordinary perception. But with this discovery came a new challenge. The conscious mind, rational and cautious, often resisted these messages. It dismissed them as coincidence, imagination, or luck. Anna realized that most people ignore the whispers of their subconscious. They live life in autopilot, unaware that a vast intelligence is quietly guiding them every moment. Yet, she felt lucky to have noticed, lucky to have awakened this hidden part of herself. She started small, experimenting with ways to communicate with her subconscious. She paid attention to dreams, writing down the smallest details and looking for patterns. She practiced mindfulness, observing thoughts without judgment. Letting the mind speak freely, she noticed that the more she listened, the clearer the messages became. It was as if a door, long closed, was slowly opening, revealing rooms full of knowledge, intuition, and insight. Anna felt a growing excitement, a sense of empowerment. She understood that the subconscious was not just a guide, it was a key, a hidden force that could unlock creativity, problem-solving, and self-discovery. It could influence not only her mind but her reality itself, shaping her actions, her relationships, and her understanding of the world. Yet, she also knew that this power required patience, attention, and respect. It was not magic, but a natural part of the human mind waiting to be explored. As she drifted to sleep that night, Anna felt a quiet gratitude. For the first time, she understood that the voice she had ignored for so long was not random. It was a teacher, a guide, and a companion on a journey she was only beginning to understand. The subconscious had begun to reveal its hidden power, and Anna was ready to follow where it would lead. Anna had begun to notice a strange pattern. Her subconscious was not only sending messages through dreams, feelings, and coincidences, it seemed to operate in ways that were almost quantum, like a hidden web connecting ideas, events, and choices across time and space. She remembered reading about the mysterious world of quantum physics, how particles could be connected even when separated by vast distances, how an observer could influence what happened, and suddenly it all felt familiar. As if her own mind mirrored these strange laws, her subconscious seemed to sense possibilities before she did. Predicting outcomes with subtle hints and nudges, Anna tried to explain it logically, but logic failed her. She noticed moments when she made decisions that felt random at first, only to discover later that these choices had led to exactly the outcome she needed. It was as if her mind was tuned into a hidden frequency, a network of infinite possibilities that unfolded in ways she could not yet understand. She thought about intuition, the sudden insights that appear without reason, about déjà vu, the eerie sensation of knowing something before it happens, even the strange coincidences that led her to the right place at the right time. Could these be quantum clues from her subconscious, hints guiding her through the invisible threads of reality? Anna's curiosity grew into fascination. She wondered if the subconscious could be a bridge between the conscious mind and something greater, something that science had only begun to glimpse, a hidden layer of reality where thoughts, choices, and possibilities exist simultaneously, and where her own mind could tap into patterns beyond ordinary perception. She remembered the dream of the glowing doors, the whisper that said, "Choose wisely, and you will see." It suddenly made sense in a new way. Each door could represent a different possibility, a quantum path, and the subconscious was quietly nudging her toward the path that mattered most. It was as if her inner mind was a navigator, guiding her through an unseen reality. But this awareness also brought questions that tingled with unease. If the subconscious held these clues, why did most people fail to notice them? Why did the mind remain hidden, even when it could guide decisions, reveal truths, and unlock potentials? Anna realized that it required attention, practice, and trust, a willingness to observe, to notice the subtle signs, and to act on them. She began to experiment, paying close attention to her thoughts and feelings, noticing patterns in coincidences, in choices that felt right without reason. She began journaling her insights, mapping the strange connections she observed. And slowly, a picture emerged, a vision of a mind that was far more powerful than she had ever imagined, a mind capable of sensing, connecting, and influencing reality in ways she had only glimpsed in quantum theory. Anna felt a thrill of awe and mystery. She realized that the journey was just beginning, that her subconscious mind held quantum clues, hidden messages, and secrets waiting to be discovered. and she knew that if she learned to listen carefully, she could begin to understand the hidden language of reality itself. Anna began to notice more clearly the quiet signals her subconscious was sending. They were all around her, subtle and easy to miss: a fleeting thought, a strange feeling in her chest, a dream that lingered longer than usual. These signs were not random. She realized they were messages, hints pointing the way. She remembered the morning when she felt an inexplicable pull toward a small bookstore. Inside, a dusty old book contained exactly the words she needed to solve a problem that had puzzled her for weeks. Another time, a stranger smiled at her in a way that felt important. Later, she realized that brief encounter had changed the course of her day. Every coincidence, every moment that felt just right, was part of a hidden conversation she had been overlooking. Anna started paying closer attention to recurring dreams, strange thoughts, and gut feelings. She noticed that certain patterns repeated in her life. A particular phrase would appear in her dreams, and later in real life. A number kept showing up, guiding her to the right place at the right time. Even feelings of unease were messages, warning her to pause or reconsider. The subconscious was always speaking, but she had to learn to listen. She realized that most people go through life ignoring these signals. They dismiss them as coincidence, imagination, or simple chance. But Anna understood that ignoring them meant ignoring a hidden guide. A guide that could shape their decisions, influence their happiness, and even alter their path in life. The signs were small, but their power was immense. Anna began experimenting with noticing everything. She wrote down her dreams in a notebook and looked for connections with her waking life. She observed sudden thoughts and intuitions without judgment. She asked herself simple questions. Why do I feel this? What is my mind trying to show me? Slowly, patterns began to emerge. Like constellations in a night sky, she realized that the subconscious leaves trails, and following them could reveal hidden truths. Some signs were easy to recognize, like moments of intuition that solved a problem instantly. Others were quiet, almost invisible, like a gentle nudge toward a choice she might have overlooked. Anna learned that even negative feelings were messages, pointing out areas in her life that needed attention. The subconscious did not force answers. It offered guidance, waiting for her to notice, to pay attention, and to act. The more she observed, the more amazed she became. It felt like she had been given a secret key, one that unlocked doors she never knew existed. She began to see life itself as a dialogue between her conscious choices and the subtle messages from within. Every small coincidence, every fleeting thought, every strange feeling carried meaning, and the more she listened, the clearer the hidden patterns became. Anna realized that she had a choice: to continue ignoring these signs like she had for so long, or to follow them, to trust the whispers of her subconscious and uncover the secrets it held. It was a choice that could change everything. She felt both fear and excitement, because listening required courage, but she also knew that this was a path, a journey toward understanding herself, her mind, and the reality around her. The signs were there. Anna understood now, waiting for anyone who was willing to see, and she knew that ignoring them would be a mistake. The subconscious had begun to speak clearly, and for the first time, Anna was ready to truly listen. Anna had learned to notice the signs, the subtle whispers of her subconscious, but noticing them was only the first step. She knew that to truly benefit, she had to learn how to listen, how to understand, and how to act on the hidden wisdom her mind offered. She started with simple steps, small experiments that anyone could try. Each morning, she spent a few minutes sitting quietly, closing her eyes, and paying attention to her thoughts. She let her mind wander without judgment, noticing which thoughts or feelings stood out. Some were fleeting, others repeated, and slowly she began to see patterns, connections, and hints she had never noticed before. Next, Anna turned to journaling, writing down every dream, every gut feeling, every sudden insight. At first, it seemed random, but over time, connections emerged. A dream about a glowing path might appear before an important choice. A fleeting thought about a stranger could reveal a new opportunity. The act of writing made the subconscious visible, like decoding a hidden language. Anna also practiced mindfulness throughout her day, observing thoughts and feelings as they arose. She noticed when her mind pulled her toward certain choices, when intuition nudged her in a direction she might have ignored. She began to trust these subtle messages, acting on them in small ways at first, and each time, the results amazed. Her decisions, guided by her subconscious, often led to clarity, insight, and unexpected opportunities. Visualization became another tool, a way to speak directly to her inner mind. She imagined herself achieving goals, solving problems, and making choices, and she paid attention to the thoughts and feelings that arose. Her subconscious responded with ideas, warnings, and guidance that felt like pieces of a puzzle falling into place. It was as if she had found a dialogue, a two-way conversation with the hidden part of her mind. Anna realized that listening required patience, not forcing answers or trying to control the process. The subconscious works quietly, in its own time, revealing knowledge when we're ready to receive it. She learned to notice even negative feelings, seeing them as signals pointing to areas that needed attention. Fear, doubt, or discomfort were not enemies, but messages waiting to be understood. Slowly, Anna began to feel a profound sense of empowerment. She understood that the subconscious was not just a guide, but a teacher, a source of wisdom and insight. By learning to listen, she could unlock hidden creativity, solve problems more easily, and make choices aligned with her deepest values. Life felt richer, fuller, and more meaningful. Every day became a practice in observing, listening, and responding. Most importantly, Anna realized that this wisdom was available to anyone. It was not secret, mystical, or rare. It only required attention, patience, and willingness to engage. Anyone could begin to notice the signs, journal their dreams, observe their intuition, and act on the messages their subconscious offered. As she lay in bed that night, reflecting on the day, Anna felt a deep sense of gratitude. For the first time, she understood that the hidden voice inside her mind was real, intelligent, and profoundly helpful. It was a companion, a teacher, and a guide, waiting for her to notice, listen, and trust. And she knew that the journey was far from over. The secrets of the subconscious were still unfolding, and each day brought new insights, new discoveries, and new possibilities. Anna smiled, knowing that she was learning to unlock the hidden wisdom that had been with her all along. The power to understand, to choose, and to create was within her, and she was ready to follow it wherever it might lead. Anna had walked a long path, noticing the whispers of her subconscious. She had learned to recognize the signs, trust her intuition, and follow the hidden guidance of her inner mind. But now, a new understanding began to emerge, a realization that filled her with awe and wonder. She saw that the subconscious was not just a guide for small decisions. It was a doorway to a deeper understanding of reality itself. The thoughts, feelings, and insights she had experienced were part of a vast, interconnected web, a network of knowledge, patterns, and possibilities that stretched far beyond her conscious mind. It became clear that reality and perception were not separate. Her mind did not simply observe the world, it influenced it, shaped it, and co-created it. Every choice she made, every intuition she followed, every insight she noticed could change the course of her life, and perhaps even the lives of others, in ways she could not always see. Anna realized that the voice inside her mind was not trying to control her. It was inviting her to participate in something far greater, a dialogue between the conscious and subconscious, between thought and reality. The lessons she had learned about paying attention, noticing patterns, and trusting intuition were keys to understanding a hidden truth about herself and the world around her. She remembered moments that once seemed random or mysterious, the coincidences, the dreams, the sudden insights. Now, they felt like pieces of a puzzle falling into place. The universe was not chaotic, as she had once believed. It was alive with meaning, waiting for her to see. And her subconscious was the bridge that allowed her to notice the patterns hidden in plain sight. Anna felt a surge of empowerment and gratitude. She understood that she had always carried the tools to navigate life, to recognize opportunity, avoid pitfalls, and connect deeply with herself and reality. The power of the subconscious was not magic, but it was extraordinary. It was a natural, intelligent, and accessible force that anyone could learn to work with. She also realized the responsibility that came with this knowledge. To ignore it would be to miss the chance to live fully. To listen and act upon it was to step into a life of awareness, clarity, and purpose. The choice was hers, as it always had been, but now she saw the path clearly, illuminated by the hidden wisdom she had unlocked. Anna smiled as she closed her eyes that night. For the first time, she felt completely connected to herself, her mind, and the reality she inhabited.